Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
We will bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican police, verbal flooding.
Is that correct?
literally not true.
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for Trump's sake.
Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Happy Wednesday afternoon. We have about 2 hours more of trial ahead of us in the Brian Walshe trial. Day 3. Saw a chicken fighting. Yeah, don't know who won. Welcome. Good to have you here. A special welcome to Marianne. Marianne, were you the winner this morning as well? Is that a twofer? Is that a 2 for 2? I think you won both the morning and the afternoon, which means you're just a glutton for punishment. We're going to reward you for your efforts and punish you with everything internet-related being your responsibility. It's all on your plate. Congratulations. See, you sent me an email. That was Josh. Yes, it's a twofer. Congratulations. Make sure you get yourself the Internet Ownership Certificate, which is can be downloaded for the low fine of 50 cents from our YouTube shopping tab. It is ready for download. Just needs to be completed with your name. It comes pre-signed by myself and my boss, Mrs. R.A., and it is suitable for framing or use as a cover sheet on your CV. Josh says I sent 9 out of 10 judges. Whoa.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Just rested my hand on the soundboard, and that happened. Sorry about that. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. That was so loud. I had accidentally slid the volume up to the top, and then I hit the button again. So, yes, I know. Some more experience. That's what we need. Crickets. Where's my found out? There it is.
Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case?
Oh, she found out.
Okay. All right. Nailed it. Welcome. I did go to the post office. I have to say thank you to Paula, who sent a collar. Sent 2 collars. I put this one on 2 collars for the dog with a cool little dog tag as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Looks great. Cute little collar. Also got a couple Christmas cards, Thanksgiving cards, and Christmas cards. Thank you very much. They're a lot of fun. I read them with my family, every single one of them, and I appreciate the kind words both for myself and for my wife and for my kids. Buffer is so cute. He's a good dog. All right. Collar and collar sound pretty simple. Hey, just because I say it wrong, I'm not changing. I've said it this way my whole life. That's the way it goes. Thank you, Paul Mack. They're great. I love them. They're wonderful. The dog is beautiful. All right. Thank you for the Christmas cards. I was saying we set them up on the mantle, and I appreciate that. It's quite thoughtful, those of you who send them. Having never been in the category of people who was thoughtful enough to do that, I'm very grateful that you guys do. So it gives us something to read come Christmas time. All right, where are we at? We're going back to court. We're going back to the only fan. Jen, if you really need to. Who is this? Who is Jen, if you really need to? Whose name is this? What was your previous name? There's a mantle in the RA for you? Oh, there's a mantle. Oh, it's Jennifer Juniper. Okay. Awesome. Every room in our house, including the office here, has a mantle. You can't see it because it's off to my right, but we have a fireplace in every single room in the house pretty much. So that's what happens when you build a house in like 1900. I think it was 1915. I think this one was built in. It requires a lot of heating to stay warm because it's built so poorly. And so we have fireplaces in every room in the house. But waiting for the defendant to show up. What is your thermostat set on? I don't know, honestly, because we have one of those. What is it? It's not an Eero. It's a little square one that's supposed to save you money. It just chooses it. Basically, what it does is it looks at the temperature outside and says, "What temperature could I set it to that would make sure that everybody in the house is uncomfortable, either too hot or too cold, and let's go with that." And then it says it sends this like update to my phone. It's like, "Yay, you saved money." So yeah, but we were constantly like, "Why is it so cold in here? Would somebody please turn on the air?" We have that one. You guys probably have one of the same ones. What is the P.O. Box address? The box address is P.O. Box 775, Ayden, North Carolina, 28513. Now I have to check. Now I have to see what my address is. Thank you, Josh. Right there, 28513. Can never remember that zip code. That will get it to me, or at least to the post office. I can do it the rest of the way. I'll pick it up from there. So, thank you. Reminder, also tonight we'll be on with Josh at Courtroom Confidential, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And please join us for that. We'll be talking about the Brian Walshe case, which I'm excited to hear from him about and hear his take, as I have not heard it yet. He has been following this one as well, so this will be a fun little discussion tonight. So if you've not been to Courtroom Confidential before, tonight is a great time to do it, and it's also a great time to subscribe to their channel and say, "Hey, RA sent me." That would be great. Mom is in the courtroom. I missed that. I missed the pan. Mom in the courtroom. Interesting. Any reason he has red cuffs? Yes, because they're for transport. They're for use in the jail. Officers don't like mixing up their cuffs with jail cuffs, okay? Because officers take care of their handcuffs. You want your cuffs to be good, and you want your cuffs back. You don't want to get one of the crappy sets that the jail or the courthouse uses, and so they do paint them so they're easy to tell apart. Definitely not prison clothes, no, because we do in fact have a jury. There's Mom. Thank you very much for the quick pan there, cameraman. Also not wearing prison clothes. Not that she would. I'm just pointing out consistencies. A pop of red with those handcuffs. Yes, it goes quite well. You should wear a matching tie, I think. He gave her a nod of the head as he came in. She was sitting alone on the other side in black. She was wearing a fancy brooch. She is as well. The same brooch, but in a different place. And now we see that she also has hands. This is a slow reveal for the benefit of the news media, because that would be used in something in the news. Is the mom testifying? I don't believe she is. We might get a recorded interview with her in it, but I don't think she's been called to testify. She has a brooch. She has hands. Check and check. Is this his mom or hers? This is his mom. She was the one that was paying the $5,000 a month for their apartment. We just locked eyes for a minute. That was sort of creepy. She's also the one that visited some sort of psychology, fortune teller. Help me with this word. Psychic. It's just psychic. That's it. It's a simple one. After consulting with a psychic, she hired a private investigator to follow Anna. So that'll be coming in eventually. Let me adjust this audio. It's just a touch too hot. I'm getting some noise on it. So that's better. Here we go.
Hello?
You are unmuted.
Words is hard. Yes, I did fix some of the sound effects, like reconnected, so everything should be working again. But once court starts, you can't use them. That's the rules.
Bring the jury.
Thank you.
Court is back in session. You may be seated.
Do you understand, sir, you're still under oath?
Hello.
So before the break, I was talking to you again about how you sell policies to individuals and families when it comes to life insurance.
Yes.
So when you're selling to a young married couple, both parties might have life insurance policies.
Yes.
And each of them would be the other one's beneficiary.
Yes.
Okay. And when people have kids, then that's another consideration because they want to make sure if something happens to one parent, the other parent and the children are okay.
Yes.
So in your role as a life insurance agent, would you categorize life insurance policies as something that's an investment for the whole family?
Sometimes.
Okay. And in this particular case, am I correct that all 3 children had whole life insurance policies as well?
Yes.
And Anna Walsh was the beneficiary of those.
Yes.
So she would have been the only one who could have taken out a loan against any of those policies.
Yes.
Okay. I was asking you before about how Mr. Walsh had been denied several times for health insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. Yes.
Sorry. So you had mentioned that Brian Walsh had, I guess, requested life insurance online and you picked it up as a lead and you reached out to him.
Yes.
And you began applying for life insurance policies for him.
Yes.
When you began applying for life insurance policies for Brian Walsh, Anna Walsh did not apply for any life insurance policies.
Correct.
At some point, Anna Walsh did apply for a life insurance policy, and that was after Mr. Walsh consistently was denied because of his open federal case.
Correct.
How did it come about that Anna Walsh would apply for life insurance?
I don't remember the conversation.
Okay.
It probably was my recommendation.
So it was probably your recommendation that Anna applied because Mr. Walsh was getting denied.
Correct.
Okay. Is it customary once you sell a policy, I don't know if that's the right term, that you might stay in touch with your clients if they ever have questions in the future about their policies or payouts or any beneficiary questions?
Yes.
So people can email you or call you and say, hey, I have a question about this policy, right?
Yes.
After Anna Walsh and the children were insured in February of 2021, at no point did Mr. Walsh ever email or call you and say, hey, how do I... I'm just being a lady. Okay.
No, I apologize.
Okay. At no point did Mr. Walsh ever contact you to ask you about getting paid out on any of Anna Walsh's life insurance policies?
Correct.
Overruled. You can answer that question.
And at no point did Mr. Walsh ever contact you and ask you about taking out any loans or how to take out loans on any of the children's life insurance policies or Anna Walsh's life insurance policies?
Objection.
Overruled.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor. Commonwealth's content.
The witness may step down.
Redirect.
Thank you, sir.
No.
Thank you.
No questions. So we're done with life insurance salesperson.
And the Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Commonwealth would call Davis Gould.
Davis Gould. Up next, this is going to be witness number 12, a dozen. Is that 13? I think it's 13, Josh. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Loose tie. I like
Sir,
it.
could you state your name?
My name is Davis Gould. First name is spelled D-A-V-I-S.
Where do you work, sir?
I work at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory in the Criminalistics and Crime Scene Response Unit.
He
All right,
spelled
sir,
Davis.
lean right into that microphone, loud, clear voice.
Turn it. Point it to you.
Thank you.
So,
There you go.
sir, what is your role at the State Police Crime Lab?
I'm currently a forensic scientist 2 assigned to the Criminalistics Unit, where I perform lab work for biological analysis on evidence submitted to the laboratory. And I'm a forensic scientist 2 in the Crime Scene Response Unit, and I respond to crime scenes when called upon to assist with investigations.
How long have you been with the Crime Lab?
I've been with the crime laboratory for a little over 10 years.
And can you give us your educational background?
Yes, I have a Bachelor of Science degree from West Virginia University with a major of Forensic and Investigative Science and a minor in Biology.
And can you detail your history with the Crime Lab for us?
I first started working at the crime laboratory in 2015 with the CODIS Collection and Investigative Unit. I was a lab technician. I was at that position for approximately a year and a half until a position opened up in the Criminalistics Unit, where I joined as a Forensic Scientist 1. There was about a 1-year-long training period where I went through various modules of training, and upon that completion, I was then promoted to Forensic Scientist 2, which is when I began working on cases.
And you said the CODIS unit. What is that, sir?
The CODIS unit is a unit at the State Police Crime Laboratory responsible for collecting DNA standards from individuals who are required by Massachusetts general law to supply standards to the state database.
Spell that
now,
carefully.
Sir,
if you're
you've said
Googling
I think you kind of briefly told us that you work for 2 units and the difference, but if you could just help us figure this out. What's the difference between the Criminalistics Unit and the Crime Scene Response Unit?
Sure. So the Criminalistics Unit exclusively works in the laboratory. We get cases assigned to us by supervisors, and we then perform the necessary biological analysis on those cases based on the information provided to us. The Crime Scene Response Unit, everyone in the Criminalistics Unit is also in the Crime Scene Response Unit. That unit performs the same biological analysis and trace collections as well. However, we respond to the physical crime scenes when called upon to collect evidence, to perform testing, and then write reports.
Are you familiar with competency tests?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us what competency tests are?
Competency test is a final test that is conducted at the end of training. In the Criminalistics Unit, I went through a training period where there were separate modules, where each module is a particular discipline of forensic science. So blood testing, other bodily fluids, trace analysis, etc. And then upon completing each of those modules, there is a final exam at the end called a competency test, of which I passed prior to working on any cases at the laboratory.
So I think you might have answered my question, but you passed your competency tests?
Yes, I did.
Now, are you familiar with what's a proficiency test?
I am, yes.
Can you tell us what a proficiency test is opposed to a competency test?
The main difference is that a proficiency test is performed periodically in each discipline. So, for example, each year I take 2 proficiency tests in the biological screening field. I take 1 trace proficiency test as well, and that's administered through an exterior company that will send us a test to perform, and I'll perform the necessary test in that discipline and then write a report on my findings.
And, sir, have you ever testified giving your opinion concerning evidence collection or analysis or forensic analysis of evidence?
Yes, I have.
In the crime lab, is it accredited?
Yes, it is.
What does it mean to be an accredited crime lab?
Accreditation is a voluntary process that the laboratory goes through. An outside agency looks at the standards and procedures that we follow, and which are guidelines set by the greater scientific community and forensic community. There is a certificate that is given every 5 years that reasserts that we're accredited and adhering to the standards set forth by that agency.
Screams with Sam. Thank you. OG.
I would like to ask some questions about January 9th, 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
And at about 2:35 that afternoon, where did you report to?
I reported to the Cohasset Police Department at approximately 2:35.
And why were you at the Cohasset Police Department?
I was requested to process a vehicle involved in an incident in Cohasset.
And was anyone else with you to process this vehicle?
Yes, there was.
Who?
I had a trainee with me at the time from the laboratory. He was going through the training period to become a crime scene responder. There were also members of the crime scene services section to take photographs, as well as members of the State Police Detective Unit.
Your Honor, I'm at this point in my examination, as I start questioning Mr. Gould, I'm going to be referring to a series of pre-marked exhibits that are photographs, starting at number 100 going to 128.
When you say they're pre-marked, are they pre-marked and agreed to by the other side?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right? So when you offer them, identify what they are so there's a complete record of them. But at this time, they'll be moved into evidence 100 through 128.
Thank you, Your Honor. And, sir, I might have neglected to ask, did you pass those proficiency tests?
I've passed every proficiency test to date so far.
So, returning your attention back to January 9th, at approximately 2:30 p.m. at the Cohasset Police Station in 2023. Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been pre-marked as Exhibit 100, file number 4239, published? Sir, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is this a photograph of?
This is a photograph of the Volvo I examined on January 9th.
And where was it located, sir?
It's located at the Cohasset Police Department inside their garage.
Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 101, file number 4250? Sir, what is this a photograph of?
This is a photograph of the front of the same Volvo that I examined.
Now, how did you conduct an examination of the Volvo that day?
Initially, I did a sketch and diagram as well as take some notes based on the vehicle prior to any analysis. So what it looked like from the exterior before I went inside of it and before I started performing any sort of biological testing. I then gathered information from the investigators on scene that were pertinent to the case so that I could determine what forensic linkages I needed to be looking for, and then proceeded with those biological screening tests at that point.
What was the overall condition of the exterior of the vehicle?
Overall, the exterior was very clean. There was an apparent hair noted in the front passenger exterior door handle.
And what was the overall condition of the interior of the vehicle?
The interior was overall very clean with miscellaneous items throughout most of the vehicle.
Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 102, which is file number 4275? Sir, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
What did you see in the vehicle as far as child safety seats?
There were two child safety seats, one located in the second row on the passenger side and another seat located in the third row on the driver's side.
Now, sir, what did you observe as far as any staining inside the vehicle?
There were two areas of visible staining that I noted, one being a red-brown stain on the front driver's side visor, and then there was brown stains noted on the front passenger side visor.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 103, which is file number 4283?
On the visors?
Sir, directing your attention to the screen, what is it that we're looking at?
We can't tell.
This is a photograph of the stain, the red-brown stain on the driver's side visor that I had marked with a ruler and the letter A.
And so you're the person who would put that piece of tape there?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 104, which is file 4286? What is it that we're looking at here, sir?
Similarly, this is a photograph of the brown stains on the front passenger visor that I marked B with the ruler tape.
Now, what did you find as far as gloves on the passenger side of the car?
On the passenger side of the vehicle, on the floor, there were two examination-style gloves. In the front passenger door pocket, there were two additional exam-style gloves in a Ziploc bag. And in the center console, there was 16 exam-style gloves inside of the center console.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 105, which is file number 4279? Sir, did you see this photograph?
Yes, I do.
Can you show us where you found gloves on the passenger side?
Yes. So on the right-hand side of the photograph on the floor, there are the light blue-colored gloves. Those would be the two gloves that I observed on the floor.
And Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 106, which is file number 4258? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
And what is this an image of?
This is the open center console between the front driver and passenger seats with 16 examination-style gloves inside of it.
With the Volvo that afternoon, what were you able to do as far as any testing?
The testing I performed on the Volvo was the blood screening test we use at the laboratory. It is a color changing test involving 2 chemicals. I'll take a clean swab and apply it to any areas that I'm interested in determining if there is potential blood present. It is a screening test, so it does not confirm the presence of blood. Additional testing would be needed, but the color test allows us to visualize stains that we can't see. So I applied this test throughout multiple areas inside the vehicle, looking for blood that was not visible to the naked eye. When it's negative, the swabs don't change any color after I add the chemicals. If it's positive, it will turn a pinkish violet sort of color after the addition of the chemicals. And prior to performing all of those tests, I made sure that my chemicals were working by using a positive and negative control on those chemicals.
And can you tell us what items might trigger a positive that are not human blood?
Yes, so there are vegetables such as cauliflower that have a peroxidase reaction, which is the main reaction in our blood screening test. So that is the main sort of reaction we're looking for. So occasionally those vegetables or legumes such as beans, those are examples of items that can have that positive reaction as well that are not blood.
My kids have a negative reaction
now,
to cauliflower.
With this test, were there any areas that tested positive?
Yes, there were.
What areas of the Volvo tested positive?
Of all the areas I examined, there were 5 that tested positive for blood screening. 1 was the front driver side seat controls for the front seat. There was an area on the second row passenger floor mat that tested positive. The third row passenger seat was folded down, and the back side of that screened positive for the presence of blood. And 2 additional areas on the mat that was in the trunk that was covering the trunk storage space. There was 2 mats, 1 area on each of them, test screened positive for the presence of blood. And these were areas that I did not observe any visible staining.
And, sir, how many areas do you think you tested overall in the Volvo?
Overall, I would estimate approximately 40 to 50. I covered a lot of the contact areas, so steering wheels, door controls, the radio controls, handles, door pulls, the floor mats, the brake pedals, and many areas inside of the vehicle.
And so, did you have the opportunity to take any samples from the car?
Yes, I did.
And so, what did you take as far as samples from the Volvo that day?
From the Volvo, I collected the hair I previously mentioned, or the apparent hair that I mentioned from the exterior front passenger door handle. And then each of those 5 areas that screened positive for the presence of blood, I took samples from each of those individually for further testing back at the laboratory.
So can you walk us through how do you take those samples, like how do you package them up? How does that work?
So the samples are collected with a set of swabs. I'll use a drop or 2 of clean water and apply it to the swabs. And then I'll take those swabs and go over those areas that screen positive to collect any sample that might be there. And then I'll put each of those samples into a glassine envelope, which then goes into a coin envelope that I'll transport back to the laboratory to be sealed and then stored properly for a further analysis.
How long do you think it took to examine the Volvo and collect the samples?
I would estimate it took me roughly 3.5 to 4 hours.
And after collecting the swabs, did you go back to the crime lab?
No, I did not.
Where did you go to next?
While I was examining the vehicle, I was requested to respond to 300 Forest Street in Peabody, Massachusetts.
Well, what time do you think you got to 300 Forest Street?
I arrived there approximately 8:15 p.m.
And can you describe what 300 Forest Street in Peabody is?
300 Forest Street is a recycle and trash collection center located just off of Route 1.
And what did you see when you got to 300 Forest Street?
Mainly there was a large area where trash had been collected from various neighborhoods and areas, and there was a certain section of trash that had been separated from the larger piles that were there.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been marked as Exhibit 107, HAS 6556? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
What is this an image of?
This is the entrance to the recycle and trash collection center, showing the mounds of garbage that are there.
No, that did not sound good.
Ms. Gilman, can we have HAS 6564, what's been previously marked as Exhibit 108? And do you see this image, sir?
Yes, I do.
What is this an image of?
This is a continuation of the interior of the center.
And so the trash that you had the opportunity to see people going through, I'm going to direct your attention to what's been marked as Exhibit 109. Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 109, 6566? Was this mixed in with all the other stuff that we just saw, or is this somewhere else?
Oh, good. It's labeled for us.
I'm unsure. This photo was taken prior to my arrival at the collection site.
Okay. But what is this a picture of?
This is a picture of a separated portion of the garbage in the center.
Now, what did you see? What did you see as far as people searching or going through the trash that night?
By the time I arrived, the main search had already been done, and there was bags of trash that were beginning to be emptied and inventoried by Crime Scene Services section and the detective unit that was there.
And so what was your role as far as dealing with these bags of trash that other officers were going through?
My main role was to assist with the other units that were present and to sift through the items in those bags to determine what items would be relevant for forensic analysis and then which units would be responsible for taking those items back to the laboratory afterward.
And so what was the first thing that was done when a bag was opened, if there was some kind of evidentiary analysis that needed to be done on it?
The first thing that I did while the trash was being emptied was I had my notes where I noted the items that were coming out of the bags, and then I worked with the Crime Scene Services section trooper there as well, who photographed those items as they were coming out of the bag as well.
And how many different bags of, is it fair to say that you numbered the bags that you found to have some kind of value to you that night?
The Crime Scene Services section did use placards to denote the bags that they were removing and photographing.
All right. Ms. Gilman, can I ask that you publish what's previously been marked as Exhibit 51, file number 6810? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
All right. So what's happening in this image that night when you were at 300 Forest Street?
This is the contents of one of the trash bags that was separated at the center.
And Ms. Gilman, can you now show us Exhibit 52, file number 6867? So now what are we looking at in relation to that last image, sir?
Since that last photograph was taken, bench paper was put out onto the floor of the collection center in order to preserve the integrity of the evidence that we were collecting at that point.
And so if it went onto a piece of paper like this, was it going to be collected?
Potentially, yes.
And this bag, sir, that we see on the screen for Exhibit 52, did you have the opportunity to know what was inside this bag, bag 1?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what was discovered inside of bag 1?
Inside of bag 1 was a pair of green boots, a black jacket with red-brown stains, and a bracelet inside of the pocket. There was a black purse with red-brown stains, a black wallet, and a pair of headphones inside of a case, as well as a pair of socks.
Was anything discovered as far as car keys?
Yes, there was a pair of Volkswagen keys as well.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been marked as Exhibit 110, file number 6869? Is this also the contents of that first bag?
That's correct.
And Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 111, which has been marked as 6870? Are these also the contents of that bag?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about another bag that you found or had the opportunity to examine. Was there a trash bag with the designation 2?
Yes, there was.
What was discovered inside of bag 2?
Inside of bag 2 were 2 white towels with red-brown stains, as well as a piece of tape with apparent gauze and red-brown stains inside of it.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 112, which is file number 6898? Sir, is that one of the towels that was found inside of bag 2?
Yes, it is.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 113, file number 6902. Is that the second towel that was found inside the bag, sir?
Correct.
And what's the other items around the towel?
Those are miscellaneous tissues with red-brown stains.
Now, was there a bag 3?
Yes, there was.
What was discovered inside of bag 3?
Inside of bag 3 was a white bathrobe with red-brown stains.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been marked as Exhibit 114, file number 6906? Sir, is this a picture of what was found, the bathrobe and found inside of bag 3?
Yes, it is.
Now, was there a bag 4?
There was.
What was discovered inside of bag 4?
Inside of bag 4 was a pair of gray slippers with red-brown stains, a pair of dark gray slippers with red-brown stains and trace materials, as well as apparent hairs with red-brown stains.
So, Ms. Gilman, if we could have Exhibit 115, file number 6915. Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
Directing your attention to this image, the slippers there, which ones are those in the top of it?
The slippers located at the top are the gray slippers.
And at the bottom, what is there next to the left of the jar?
There is a leather strap wristwatch located as well.
And you had said that there was a second pair of slippers that was recovered from that bag?
That's correct.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 116, file number 6929? Sir, can you tell us where the second pair of slippers is in this photo?
Yes, at the bottom center of the photo, you'll see the dark gray slippers with the red-brown stains and trace material noted on the bottom of one of the slippers.
What is trace material?
Trace material could reference a number of things. In this particular instance, it references the apparent hairs or fibers that I observed on the slippers.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 117, file number 6934? Sir, what is the trace material you saw that night when you were at 300 Forest Street?
In the photo on the right-hand side of the overturned slipper, there are the apparent hairs and fibers that I called trace materials located on the right-hand side at the toe end of the slipper.
Sir, I'd like to ask you some questions about bag number 5. What did you observe what did you observe produced from bag 5?
Bag number 5 contained pieces of rug with red-brown stains on some of the pieces.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 118, which is file number 6948? Sir, what are we looking at here?
These are pieces of a rug with red-brown stains that I noted on 2 of the pieces.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 119, file number 6944? Sir, where did you see the red-brown staining on the rugs?
On the 2 leftmost pieces, the left piece has red-brown stains in the bottom right corner, and then the one in the center of the photo has red-brown stains on the majority of the piece of rug.
So, sir, after bag 5, did you have the opportunity to see anything produced from a 6th bag?
I did, yes.
What was produced from the 6th bag?
Inside the sixth bag was additional pieces of rug with red-brown staining on those as well.
And besides red-brown staining of rug, what was discovered as far as a Tyvek suit?
There was a white Tyvek suit discovered in the bag as well, along with a wrapper for a Tyvek suit.
Was anything else discovered as far as a safety goggles or anything like that?
Yes, safety goggles were discovered, as well as additional miscellaneous items.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 120, which is file number 6951? Sir, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
What is this an image of?
This is an image of the safety goggles and Tyvek suit wrappers that were found in bag number 6.
Can you tell us what a Tyvek suit is?
A Tyvek suit is typically a piece of personal protective equipment that one would wear in order to protect themselves from anything they might be working with.
Have you ever worn one?
I have, yes.
When would you wear one?
I have worn one specifically during training sessions where there are biological fluids that we are experimenting with.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 121, which is file number 6956? Sir, do you recognize this image?
I do, yes.
What is this an image of?
This is an image showing more of the pieces of the rug.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit number 122, file number 6952? What are we looking at here, sir?
This is a photograph of the lower half of the Tyvek suit from bag number 6.
Did you have the opportunity to see the contents of a 7th bag that night?
Yes, I did.
What was inside the 7th? What was produced from the 7th bag?
Your Honor, may I refer to my notes?
May.
The 7th bag contained a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, a ice pack, a blue flat sheet as well.
And sir, I neglected to ask you about the rug as well. I showed you one image, which was Exhibit 121. So, Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 123, file number 6963? Sir, what is this we're looking at?
This is another piece of the rug from bag number 6 containing red-brown stains with apparent tissue.
And what is apparent tissue? For those of, like, I don't know what that means. It's not like Kleenex, right?
That's correct. Apparent tissue from the forensic perspective is a material that may or may not resemble human skin tissue. In this particular instance, based on my observations, that's what I called it.
Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down, and if we could have Exhibit 124, 6974. And so, sir, does this represent the contents of the 7th bag?
Yes, it does.
And so in the upper center, what is that brown bottle?
It is a bottle of hydrogen peroxide.
And the cut up like labels off to the side, did you note what those were for?
I didn't note what they specifically were for. I grouped them under the miscellaneous items that were in this bag.
And now, sir, did you have the opportunity to see an 8th bag in the contents produced from it?
Yes, I did.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 125, which is HAS 7002? Sir, what is it that we're looking at here?
This is a photograph of the contents of bag number 8.
And what was produced from bag number 8?
Bag number 8 contained a hammer, a pair of wire snips, a hatchet, and a hacksaw with red-brown stains on it.
And what are wire snips, and then what are shears?
They're sharpened tools that can be used to cut an item of interest.
So which one of those two objects is snips and which one is a shear?
The shears are located on the right-hand side of the photo. The snips are located in the center between the hacksaw and the hatchet.
But they all ran through the dishwasher?
Now, sir, I want to ask you about bag 10. Skip it. What was recovered from the 10th bag?
The 10th bag contained a large piece of tarp that was taped together, so multiple pieces were taped together to form a larger tarp.
And we see the Scotch tape.
Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 126?
Michelle's Mixed Media Madness, welcome to the gallery.
Is this what the 10th bag looked like, sir?
Prior to opening the contents, yes.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 127?
Brace yourself.
What is it we're looking at here in 127, sir?
This is a photograph of protective booties that are worn over the bottoms of shoes.
And where were those recovered from, sir?
Those were also recovered in bag 10 once the contents were emptied.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have what's been previously marked as Exhibit 50, file number 7029? What is this, sir?
This is a photograph of the tarp from bag number 10 as it was being unfurled from the bag.
And Ms. Gilman, can we now have Exhibit 128, file number 7035? What is this image of, sir?
This is an image of additional items from bag number 10, one of them being an apparent piece of insulation and then some scraps from containers.
So, sir, what was done with all of these items?
The items that were taken out of all the bags, we discussed amongst the crime scene services section, detective unit, and myself, which items would be going to which units first for analysis. Items of evidence that would be going straight to the criminalistics unit for analysis, I would be collecting. Items that would be analyzed for potential prints would be going with the crime scene services section, and state police detective unit would be responsible for the remaining items.
So, what items, well, at this point in time, I'd like to ask you something, sir. Are you familiar with what's called the LIMS system for the crime lab?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us what the LIMS system is?
LIMS stands for the Laboratory Information Management System. It is a software program that we utilize in order to track items of evidence that have been submitted to the laboratory and then their chain of custody history as they move throughout the laboratory.
And so after you had the opportunity to collect items that night, where did you go?
At that point, I left the facility and went to the laboratory in Danvers and submitted items of evidence there under lab number 23-00596.
So that number, that's for the overall case that you're assigned to at this point in time, right?
That's correct.
So what happens as far as when you make a submission of a piece of evidence into the LIMS system?
Once the evidence has been submitted into the Laboratory Information Management System, I then make assignments for myself to write a report based on what I collected from that scene, as well as assignments for the criminalistics unit for any items that need to be analyzed in the criminalistics unit as well. Every item is then appropriately packaged and or dried if it's wet, and then eventually transported to the appropriate storage facility.
And so I'd like to ask you about some of the LIMS numbers that you were able to assign the objects that you entered into the evidence. Your Honor, if it may be with the court's approval and with no objection from defense, would he be able to refer to his report during this portion?
Any objection?
No objection.
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, what item number under LIMS did the swabs from the driver's seat controls get?
Those swabs were given item number 9-1, 9 referring to the submission and 1 being the first item under that submission.
And what item number did the swabs from the rear passenger seat floor mat get?
The rear passenger side floor mat was given 9-2.
What LIMS number did the swabs from the rear passenger third row seat get?
9-3.
What was the LIMS number for the swabs from trunk mat 1?
Trunk mat 1 was 9-4.
What was the LIMS number for the swabs from trunk mat 2?
9-5.
What was the item number for the swabs from the red-brown stain with the letter A?
9-6.
What was the item number for the hair sample you got from the door of the Volvo?
9-7.
What was the LIMS number for the swabs for the gloves? I'm sorry, what was the LIMS number for the gloves from the floor?
From the front passenger floor, it was 9-8.
And what was the LIMS number for the Ziploc bag in the passenger door pocket?
9-9.
And what was the LIMS number for the gloves in the center console?
9-10.
Now, did you seize any Band-Aids from the floor of that vehicle?
I seized 2 Band-Aids from the center console of the vehicle, yes.
And what LIMS number did they get?
Those were given item 9-11.
Now, directing your attention to the items from 300 Forest Street, what was the LIMS number for the black jacket from bag number 1?
9-12.
And what was the LIMS number for the bracelet from the left pocket of that jacket?
9-13.
What was the LIMS number for the black purse in bag 1?
9-14.
And what was the number for the black wallet from bag 1?
9-15.
What number did the pair of boots get from bag 1?
9-16.
What item number did the Volkswagen keys get?
9-17.
And what limbs number did the headphones, did you find headphones that night?
There were headphones inside of a case, yes.
And what number did they get?
They were 9-18.
What item number did referring to bag 2, what did you discover as far as any gauze?
Inside of bag 2 was a piece of tape that had gauze inside of the tape. So the non-adhesive side was on the exterior, and then the gauze was on the interior of that tape, and the gauze appeared to be red-brown stained.
And what was the item number that you gave to the tape with the gauze and the red-brown stain?
9-20.
And regarding the wipes that you found from bag 2, what was the item number they got?
They were 9-21.
And the towels that were retrieved from bag 2, what numbers did they get?
The white towel, one of them was 9-22 and the other was 9-23.
What about the bathrobe from bag 3? What limbs number did that get?
The white bathrobe with red-brown stains was 9-24.
And the watch that was in bag 4?
9-25.
Sir, what about the gray slippers with red-brown stains from bag 4? What limbs number did they get?
Gray slippers were 9-26.
And then there was a second pair of slippers. Were they the dark gray slippers?
That's correct.
All right, so what did the dark gray slippers with trace material get as a limbs number?
9-27.
And was there any hair samples recovered from bag 4?
Yes, there was.
What was recovered as far as a hair sample?
There was apparent hairs with red-brown stains that were not on the slippers. They were just loose inside of the bag. I collected those as well.
And what item number did they get?
They were given 9-28.
And any wipes recovered from bag 4?
Yes, correct.
And what did they get for an item number?
9-29.
And in the images from that bag, was there a sponge?
There was, yes, a sponge with a wipe stuffed into it.
And what item number did that get?
That was given number 9-30.
And was anything retrieved as far as cuttings, or I shouldn't say that, what was the item number given to the pieces of rug from bag 5?
From bag number 5, I took a cutting myself from the red-brown stains that were seen on those pieces of rug. That cutting was given 9-31.
What item number did the Tyvek suit get?
9-32.
And in bag 6, what number did the hand towel get?
9-33.
So, sir, now I'd like to show you some of these objects. And before I do you have any gloves with you?
I do, yes.
Can I see counsel at the side of the bench?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge says you're not literally going to go through every single item and give a number on everything, are you? Yes, that's what we're doing. It does get him, he allows him to mention each item of evidence twice. This evidence, this is the first time I've seen these pictures of the items that were found. I knew that we found them, but that last photo with all the tools, the hammer, the snips, the shears, the hacksaw, the hatchet, just laid out there all in one bag. Wow. Wow. And look, they look relatively clean from what we can see from the photos, which just goes to show, you got that question about, can the dishwasher clean DNA off of a knife? Did he run them through the dishwasher before disposing of them? This all looks bad, but more evidence, please. Oh, there's a lot of evidence. The Volvo, the 2 spots of apparent blood, both on the roof, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side sun visor. Not sure where that came from. I mean, that could be from just about anything. Somebody gets a nosebleed when they're in the car, and You know, it doesn't seem like a logical place for blood to end up after this type of event, where all the items were bagged and being taken to be disposed of. More likely that it might have come from his finger from a cut, though. That would be likely. Took the info from those searches to heart, that's for sure. And no, there's evidence that he didn't follow the search information. I mean, look at his computer history. He didn't delete his search history.
I was told counsel wanted to see me at sidebar.
The cut they showed on his finger, maybe. He did have two cuts, one on his thumb and one on his, I think one on each hand, maybe. And not like massive cuts, but significant enough to definitely cause bleeding. Someone was asking about what the ME says. There's no medical examiner report because they never found the body. This is a no-body murder trial. Look at the bags of evidence over there, waiting on the rack, about to be admitted. Did he forget to Google how to delete search history? I think he Googled basically similar things. Should have made sense to go there. That's the logical thing, but he didn't. So much respect for the law enforcement have to search through literal garbage dumps and dumpsters. Oh man. Susan Powell, the Susan Powell trial or case. There was no trial. If you remember that one, she went missing out of Salt Lake, had a couple of boys. Her husband, Josh Powell, was suspected in her disappearance. In that case, the investigators dug through the landfill. They cordoned off the landfill and just dug through massive, massive amounts of trash looking for anything. Ended up never finding anything at all that would be beneficial. Tools seem to be heavy to be in the garbage bag. They were hefty garbage bags. They were pretty strong. It was the weirdest and worst case. Yeah, the Susan Powell case ended terribly. First of all, they've never found her body. I've been out. I've been out on looking in areas out in the Utah's West Desert, where they suspect that her body might have been dumped in an old mine shaft or something. I've been out there in that area poking around looking to see if we can see anything, because it basically went to the public where they're like, good luck if you find something. But that ended terribly with Josh taking the lives of his sons and himself as
Your
well.
Honor, with the court's indulgence, I'm just going to be walking back and forth to grab certain objects, and I apologize if I appear to be a ping pong ball, but I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here we go. Now, if you thought the pictures were bad, imagine holding up these items for the jury.
Sir, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you an item that's in a bag. I'm going to ask if you recognize the bag and open it up. We're not going to ask you to produce anything from the bag, okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you, sir.
We're not going to produce them from the bag?
The first item I'm handing you is a vanilla envelope. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it, sir?
This is a manila envelope containing the COVID card of Anna Walsh that I recovered from the scene.
Can you open that envelope and determine if that object is inside it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. The Commonwealth would seek to have this envelope marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Is it 129 we're at?
Yes, Your Honor.
The COVID card will be, or the exhibit with pouch that contains the COVID card is now in evidence as 129. Jurors, I do expect that there's going to be a series, and based on what we're consulting with at the side of the bench, there's going to be a series of bags of evidence that the Commonwealth's going to move in to evidence. And those bags, to the extent that they are admitted as evidence, will go back with you in the jury room for you to examine as you need during your deliberations.
Wow.
But it's my understanding that they're going to stay in the bags right now. And when they go back with you, you'll have proper gloves, just like the witness now has. All right? Thank you.
Jury, you can open these at your leisure.
Sir, do you recognize this bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is the bag of keys and headphones that I recovered at the scene.
Could you open it and confirm that those items are inside that bag?
Yes, they are.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the bag with the keys and headphones marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor, which I believe is 130.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's marked and admitted into evidence as Exhibit 130, the Volvo keys and the headphones.
I don't know which jurors are going to be like, oh, yeah, hand me the one with the hammer. Mm-mm. Nope.
Sir, I'm showing you I'm producing a bag to you. If you could tell us if you recognize it.
Yes, this is a bag of the black jacket with red-brown stains, a pair of socks and bracelet from bag number 1 at the collection site in Peabody.
Could you open that up and confirm that those items are inside of it?
This portion of the trial brought to you by Stop and Shop.
I can see the black jacket. However, without removing it, there's nothing I can see that might be underneath it.
Okay. So for today's purposes, that bag with the black jacket, I would seek to mark as the next exhibit, Your Honor, without having to move the jacket around and go underneath any objects inside it.
What's the outside labeling say? Black jacket, bracelet, and what else?
Pair of black socks, Your Honor.
Any objection to that?
No objection.
The contents of that packet, which has on the outside of it black jacket, bracelet, and black socks, is now in evidence as 131.
Sir, I'm producing another bag to you. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is a bag marked as purse and wallet from bag number 1.
Could you open that bag and confirm the purse and wallet inside?
Yes, they are.
Commonwealth would seek to have this marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
The purse and the black wallet, both black purse and black wallet, are now in evidence as 132. Thank you.
Can you have somebody run you the bags? Can we have like a runner go back and forth?
Sir,
just hand you the next one.
handing you a bag and ask.
Yes, I do.
What's inside that bag, sir?
A pair of green boots recovered from bag number 1.
And sir, what is the outside of the bag say?
The outside of the bag reads green boots, bag number 1, with my initials, my trainee's initials, and the date.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this marked as the next exhibit.
The bag with the green boots is now in evidence as Exhibit 133.
Sir, you recognize this bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that, sir?
This is a brown paper bag containing a bracelet.
Can you open the bag and confirm the bracelet's inside?
Yes, there's a bracelet inside.
Commonwealth will seek to have this marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection? The bracelet is now in evidence in its bag as 134.
Some issues. Fixed it.
Sir, I'm handing you this first bag. Can I ask if you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is that, sir?
This is a bag marked white towel number 1 from bag number 2 at the PBD collection facility.
And that's one of the 2 white towels you bagged up that night and took back to the crime lab?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you open it and make sure the towel's inside?
Yes, it's inside.
The Commonwealth will seek to have this bag and the white towel marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor. No objection.
White towel number 1 from bag 2 is now in evidence as exhibit 135.
Yeah. No scissors this time. I think he's using his teeth or just tearing them open. I'm not sure.
I'm handing you another bag, sir.
This bag is marked white towel number 2.
And does that look like the second bag for a white towel that you bagged that night?
Yes, that's correct.
Could you open and confirm the towel's inside?
Yes, it's inside.
The Commonwealth will seek to have this marked in the next video.
Any objection? The white towel number 2 from bag number 2 is now in evidence as 136. Can I see counsel at the side of the bench?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is now 3 o'clock. We have one more hour and a lot of evidence already on the floor, making a small pile of evidence. Everything that's relevant to this case, I think, has been bagged and tagged and marked, and it's going to be admitted that all of it can go back to the jury. Basically, most of the contents of those 8+ bags of garbage that ended up being evidence in this case will go back to the jury. The jury being told, hey, we're not going to hold it up for you now. We're not going to pass it around or show you now, but it will go back to you to the jury room. And hey, we'll give you some gloves. And if you'd like to open them, feel free, which is quite interesting. I realize a lot of the blood evidence has anything that's wet, right, that has blood on it with moisture. It has to be bagged in a way that will keep it dry, and this brown paper bags do that very, very well. But once they're dried, remember the courts that had the big Ziplocs? I mean, the big, huge plastic sheets? That was, you can hold it. You don't need gloves. It contains everything. You can see it. Are these Stop and Shop bags? No, they're not, but they're very similar, I think. I think it should be shown to the jury. First time I've ever seen a bag open saying, the bag says there are more things in it than what I can see, but I don't want to take the thing out. So can we just assume that they're in there? Nope, no problem. Sure, let's do it. I've never seen that before. When they have a bad odor on them, yeah. Yep. He's got 2 bags at a time. He's cutting down on his steps.
Sir, I'm producing another bag to you and ask you to recognize that.
Yes, I do.
And what is that bag, sir?
This bag contains a white bathrobe with red-brown stains that I recovered from bag number 3.
Could you open that bag and confirm that the bathrobe is inside?
Yes, it is.
The Commonwealth will seek to have the bag with the bathrobe marked as the next exhibit.
Any objection?
Objection.
The bathrobe from bag number 3 is now in evidence as exhibit 137.
Sir, what's this bag that I'm handing you?
This is a bag of the dark gray slippers with red brown stains and trace materials.
Could you open the bag and confirm the slippers are inside?
Yes, they are.
Commonwealth seek to have the bag with the dark gray slippers marked as the next exhibit. No objection.
That's also from bag number 3, or is that?
This would be from bag number 4.
That's bag 4.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The dark gray slippers from bag number 4 are now in evidence as 138.
Cool. Recognize that bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This bag contains the leather strap watch from bag number 4.
And could you open and confirm the watch inside?
Yes, it is.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the next bag as the watch from bag number 4 as the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No objection.
The leather strap watch from bag 4 is now in evidence as 139.
So you recognize that bag?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a bag containing apparent hairs with red-brown stains from bag number 4.
Could you open the bag and confirm that the item is inside?
This one's still sealed.
Oh, you didn't get them all?
Yeah, can't quite get it all. Might need new gloves as well.
So, your gloves have opened. For the record, I brought you a new set, so and why don't I take yours?
Thank you.
You good?
Good.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, they're inside.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the next bag with apparent hairs with red brown stain marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
No Any objection?
No objection.
The hair from bag number 4 is in evidence as 140.
Sir, do you recognize this bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is a pair of slippers with red-brown stains from bag number 4.
So those are the light gray slippers?
That's correct.
Can you open the slippers inside?
Yes, they are.
Commonwealth would seek to have the next bag marked as exhibit 141, pair of slippers from bag number 4. No objection.
Thank you. The bags, light gray slippers from bag number 4 are now in evidence as exhibit 141.
Crunching of paper makes me nuts. There's a lot of it. The courtroom floor is littered with it. It's going to have to start jumping over the pile of evidence in just a minute.
Sir, do you recognize this bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is a bag containing the sponge with a wipe through it.
Could you open and confirm the sponge is inside?
Yes, it is.
Commonwealth would seek to have this marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor. No objection.
Is that from bag 4, or are we now moved on to bag 5?
We are on bag 4, Your Honor.
Okay. The sponge from bag number 4 is now in evidence as Exhibit 142.
Sir, do you recognize that bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that bag?
This is a bag containing the Tyvek suit recovered from bag number 6.
Could you open and confirm the Tyvek suits inside?
Yes, it is.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this next bag, Your Honor, mark this next exhibit, Tyvek suit from bag number 6.
No objection.
Thank you. Now in evidence as 143 is the Tyvek suit from bag 6.
Mr. Gould? Do you recognize that bag?
Yes, I do.
What is that, sir?
This bag contains the hand towel with red-brown stains from bag number 6.
Can you open and confirm it's inside?
It is.
The Commonwealth would seek to mark this as the next exhibit, Your Honor, which is hand towel with red brown stains from bag number 6.
Any objection?
No objection.
Hand towel from bag 6 is now in evidence as 144.
See what he has left. All the way down near the end of the bench. A couple more items.
Yes?
Anything else? Just the hammer and the hacksaw and the hatchet and the snips and the shears.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry about that.
Come get your notes. I don't want to read those. Okay.
If I just call you Mr. Gould, do you have a comment?
Mr. Gould's fine.
So, you told us as you began your testimony that when you went to the scene of the where all the trash and everything was, that there were people were collecting bags. At one point, you had to then take out some of the evidence and put it on the paper to quote, preserve the integrity of the evidence.
Yes.
And when we talk about preserve the integrity of the evidence, what we're trying to do is what all of you are trying to do is make sure that you keep it in the same condition that it was in when you found it, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Now, do you know anything about a trash compactor that was taken to that area before you arrived?
I don't know any specifics about a trash compactor, no.
So can you tell the jury, if you have any information, that some of this evidence that's been introduced that was taken out of a dumpster there, that it had first been in a compactor and then transferred to the dumpster, or you just don't know?
I do not know.
When you talk about the integrity of the evidence, it also includes trying to preserve the fact, as best you can, of how a particular item that was stained is not stained by another item. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say, yes.
So when you're handling this evidence that you're collecting, you're really taking care not to have one item touch another item, because you don't want a transfer between biological evidence between item 1 and item 2, correct?
Correct, to the best of my ability, yes.
Sure. And in this case, and in the collection of this evidence, it's fair to say, isn't it, Mr. Gould, that you have no way of knowing before you were able to begin your examination of these items at the scene how they had come into contact with each other, either within a bag or just being pulled out by people before you arrived.
Before I arrived, correct.
And there is such a thing in your expertise in forensics that includes characterization of transfer of biological evidence, correct?
That is within the realm of our responsibilities, yes.
And what that simply means is that one item that has some either biological evidence or something else, if it comes into contact with another item, it can transfer that to the other item. So item A that may have had a red-brown stain on it, I transfer some of that red-brown stain to item B, whereas before, item B never had a red-brown stain.
That's correct, and the term we would use for that is called low cards exchange principle.
And that would include, for instance, if you were looking at a pair of slippers like we have in this case, and you see in one of the photographs that there looks to be apparent hairs attached to the slippers, it could very well be that those hairs that are seen attached to the slipper, they could have transferred to that slipper because they were already in the bag or they came into contact with something else.
Absolutely, yes.
And so it's fair to say then that when you're out there, very careful, and with all the training and experience you have, there's no way for you to be able to tell a jury, with regards to this specific case, how exactly some of this red-brown stain or biological evidence actually came to be on any piece of evidence.
Correct. I cannot say the manner of deposition. I can only confirm its presence.
And so it's fair to say
Construction vehicle
there
outside.
could very well be some of this evidence that now, when you look upon it, it has a red-brown stain on it. That red-brown stain may not have been on that piece of evidence when it was, in fact, initially placed into, for example, a black bag.
That's possible, yes.
But the evidence was on another item in the same bag. It's not like
in
another
the photographs
somebody
that
else's
were
trash
introduced
contaminated
of the
this.
scene where you went with all that trash and garbage, it's fair to say that a lot of that trash and garbage had absolutely nothing to do with this case.
Correct.
How did you differentiate at the scene what applied to this case and what didn't apply to this case?
Mainly once the discovery was made of red-brown stains on items, I was looking for any items of interest that might be in with those bags that have those red-brown stains on them as well, to try to establish any potential biological connections with the items in those bags.
And we saw a lot of photographs, but some of the photographs appeared to have some of the items that were eventually taken into custody by you and given a lens number, like you described for the jury. Some of those items, when they were first taken out of the bags, it looks to me like they were placed directly onto the floor of that warehouse.
Yes, they do.
And the floor of the warehouse actually looks somewhat damp in the photographs.
It does, yes.
And it was in fact damp.
I can't recall exactly the conditions, but it is the floor of the facility, yes.
And so it's fair to say that a lot of terrible question, I apologize. It's fair to say that you have no idea what was originally on the floor of that warehouse before you arrived.
Correct.
You just know that it had the appearance, it may have been damp, but you don't know what caused the damage.
That's correct.
And then these items were placed on that. Items, like for instance, the items have been admitted into evidence here, and they could have been then caused to be dampened by what was on the floor of that warehouse.
That's possible, yes.
And then what happened was, once again, in your very earnest desire to preserve the integrity of the evidence, you then took a lot of this physical pieces of evidence, and you placed them on, do we call it, what do we call it, paper?
Yes, we would refer to the white parchment paper, typically in the lab as bench paper.
Bench paper. And that's what we see in the photographs.
Yes.
And then, after you collected these items, you then transported them or caused them to be transported to the lab at the Mass State Police?
Yes.
And did you, I thought I heard you testify that you had them transported to various parts of the lab?
The evidence, I believe what I had said was that the evidence will eventually travel to its respective facility where it needs to be stored. But I did submit at one laboratory with all the items.
You did?
Yes.
And after you transported the items to the lab, did you have any further, did you do any further work on these items?
No, I did not.
Well, thank you, sir.
Any
All right.
redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We've got about 40 minutes left on the day.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Davis Gould. I think we've made good time on these witnesses. We pretty much got through everybody I think the Commonwealth said they would have today. Let's just see if we're going to start another witness. And I think we are ahead of schedule, too. This might be a 2-week trial. The defense insinuating that the DNA and blood transfer could have happened in the garbage after it was thrown away, as if someone else had gotten a hold of Anna's blood and contaminated Brian's garbage with it, is a little absurd. But yes, it's very true that DNA from one item may have transferred to another item in that same garbage bag. But because he bagged everything in groups, everything within that group is expected to possibly have some transfer from one to another. So if there's blood on the keys, it doesn't mean the keys were at or used in the crime. It just, the item that was bagged with, if it was bagged with a towel, I don't think it was. They were separate. That you would expect that to be able to have transferred that way. They did say ahead of schedule yesterday. I think it's seriously annoying me that the lawyer cannot stand by a mic and talk into it. It's frustrating. Trust me, I'm the one working the volume knob on this end, and it's a lot of work as he paces back and forth so quickly, and I can't even see, so I have to just guesstimate where he's going. Maybe she'll pull a Bev and give them a day off since they're ahead of schedule. I don't think a day off, unless we have some reason for that. I'm just impressed that they held true to the chain of command. Lee Bell, I won't be able to watch starting next week. I'm starting my new job. Lee Bell, we are super excited for you. Congratulations on the new job. I hope it is wonderful, and you love it, and you love your coworkers, and you love what you do, and I hope they pay you much more than you're worth, which is probably a lot. All these things, hoping for you. Hope you enjoy it as well. This is the worst waste of defense money. It's like, why are we even here after all this? They want to be sure they're finished before the holidays. Right. I think that's going to be the big push. Get done before Christmas. There is a new Sarah Boone letter, I think, in there. I think we might review that if we have some time at some point. Probably not today, but there's a new letter where she basically says, I don't even know who my attorney is, my appeals attorney, which is interesting because she's way, way, way past her appeals deadline. But I think in her case, because of the issues she's had, that deadline is going to be waived, and her appeal will be accepted, even though it's past the deadline, because of the situation with her lawyer and not responding and changing lawyers and not getting communication, which clearly is not her fault. Since he's admitted to cutting up her body, why wouldn't you tell them where he put her? Technically, he didn't admit to cutting up her body. Technically, he only admitted to moving the body illegally. He didn't admit to the cutting up part because that was not charged. It's not an element of that charge. Let's see.
So jurors, I'm going to send you on your way today, and I was talking with the lawyers just now about what the schedule is for the rest of the week, because I'd like to let you know, because I know I'm ever mindful of the sacrifice you're making to be here to serve as jurors in this case. So here's the rest of the week. I expect tomorrow will be a full day, 9 to 4. And then on Friday, I think I told many of you during impanelment, it seems like a long time ago, so you may not remember, that my plan always was to go 9 to 1 while the evidence was presented on Fridays. And that's frankly just for your own education, to let me continue with the other cases that are in this session. So I see them on Friday afternoon when I have a longer case. So that's what I'm going to be doing Friday afternoon. But what it means for you is our day on Friday will likely be just 9 to 1. All right? So you have a layout. Parties tell me so far we're right on schedule, maybe a little ahead of schedule. So I try to keep you informed. So again, I know the sacrifice you're making. Have a good night. But before you leave,
wait, sit down.
I remind you, jurors, don't do any research about this case. Don't go on social media or any news media. Don't speak to anyone about this case, and continue to have open minds as you listen to the evidence. So have a good night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow ready to work.
All rise for the court, please.
All right, they did call it for the day. Davis Gould from the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab is the last witness of the day. Number 13 is done. We will start with number 14 on day 4 on Thursday, and then the judge announces we're going to work a half a day on Friday, just 9 to 1. So we're going to go to lunch. You stay at lunch. I hear open mind, AWOL, but I don't hear you have to cling to unreasonable doubt. That's not an instruction. Mumble, mumble, mumble.
Circling back to a couple of things we spoke about earlier today.
The instruction?
So the Commonwealth motion with regard to the guilty plea was filed on Sunday night. And I frankly had asked Madam Clerk if she could check, because my recollection was that the defendant never filed a written. I know you've been busy. I just want to make sure I have all the paper in front of me. Is it correct that you have not filed a written opposition?
I haven't had the chance to address it, but I will have something emailed to the court by tomorrow morning.
Okay. And so here's, with regard to that, let me focus you a little bit more precisely, which is I want that to address what relevance does the defendant's plea of guilty, not his taking responsibility by testifying consistent with the expected evidence presented in the opening. I lied to the police. I improperly disposed of my wife's body. What relevance does the fact of the plea, if you are seeking to get the plea in, of guilty to indictments or counts 2 and 3, have to any permissible fact finding that this jury would do, recognizing that the jury is prohibited and will get an instruction consistent with almost every criminal case, that they may not consider punishment or the consequences of its verdict. So one of the things I'm concerned about is in line drawing, that I'm inviting the jury, if I allow them to hear evidence that he pled guilty, then I'm inviting them to do exactly what I'm going to tell them not to do, which is you are not to consider jurors. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. So it's not clear to me entirely, and it's, again, no fault of the parties. You may be thinking through a lot of the information I gave you earlier today. But think about now whether A, you are seeking to admit that he pled to those 2 counts. And if you are still seeking that information, what relevance does it have to this jury's permissible job? All right.
Wow. Gut feel. I don't think she's going to allow it.
Another note. When's the Commonwealth going to get me the FASTO things? The reduced FASTO text messages.
Your Honor, I had a chance to discuss the messages with the Commonwealth. And my position, and I alerted the Commonwealth to this, is that if the court was inclined to allow even some of the messages, that my preference is the whole package of the messages that they initially wanted to come in comes in full.
So rule of completeness?
So relevant or not, you wish me to put it in?
Given the court's ruling that some of the messages are coming in, it is our belief that the context of all the messages
is more beneficial as a strategic matter for your client?
If it's strategic, it's relevance, it gives a full context. I think otherwise you'd be able to cherry pick certain statements and make an argument that another argument could be made on the exact opposite side of the coin had the other parts been admissible. So it is a strategic request.
I said this probably a million times. You know the evidence better than I did. I started before I assigned the Commonwealth to reduce. I started to try to reduce it myself, and I was able to reduce it. But again, I don't know your cases nearly as well as you do. I'm just consuming it as the jury's consuming the evidence. All right? Anything, those are the 2 things that I wanted to talk about before we suspended for today. First, go to the Commonwealth, and then I'll go to the defense. Anything that the Commonwealth needs to talk about.
Your Honor, with respect to the text messages, we did send counsel a copy with names and images of certain individuals blurred out and redacted. I don't know that that's an issue with...
It's just the text content. I don't care about the photographs that are blurred.
All right, so particularly of the third parties, the minor third parties that are in those text messages, those absolutely need to be blurred. But you're not suggesting that the photo, or maybe you are suggesting that the photo that Anna Walsh sent at 10:07 is blurred.
No, Your Honor, only the third-party minor children.
Okay. All right. That seems appropriate. Anything else from the Commonwealth?
Nothing else from the Commonwealth.
For the defense, anything you want to raise with the court?
I think what everyone wants to research and get an answer to is the 1020 max that we were discussing at sidebar. Which, again, I think we all just need to open a book, so to speak, and hopefully have information for the court about that, because that's relevant for Friday.
Right. There's a lot to unpack there from my preliminary research.
Isn't there some sentencing going on
mid-trial? I haven't had a chance to read it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good night.
I think we're done. Wow. So we end up wrapping it up about 28 minutes earlier than expected tonight. Couple things still out there to decide. The Commonwealth has filed a motion saying we would like the jury to know that he pled guilty to illegally disposing of his wife's body and lying to police. We'd like them to know that. And she's like, tell me how this works. Tell me how I'm supposed to make this work. How will this all fit? What's your rationale? What's the reasoning? What's the law on how that goes? Because there's a place for them to be, and there's a place for me to be, and I stay in my lane and they stay in theirs. Why do they need to know about him pleading guilty when I'm the one who's going to be sentencing him, not them? So very interesting. If defense successfully keeps that information out from the jury, this would be a win, and this would be in line with their strategic decision to plead guilty to those 2 counts prior to the trial beginning, which, it helps a little bit. It's not much. It's not like catching a Hail Mary, but it helps a little bit. So I agree it wouldn't be right to include that in there, but there's a point where he almost there's a point where the jurors might be like, oh, where's the missing puzzle piece? Why are we not hearing about this big gaping hole in the case? Right? Why is that not brought up? So it's going to be interesting. So 2 more days of trial this week. I can't believe we've already made it past Wednesday now. Tonight I'm going to be on with Josh from Courtroom Confidential, whose shirt I am wearing today. And we're going to be talking about this Brian Walshe case and what's happened thus far. So please join us. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can do the math in the middle. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's always great to hang out with Josh and his crew. And they're just amazing people. I appreciate and honored by the offer to join them tonight. So be there for that. What is Josh wearing then? I don't know. I don't get the memo. But I can tell you whatever Josh wears, he makes it look good. The man was blessed with good looks and charm and everything else. Let's see. I think that's it. Is that everything? Let me recap what we had today. Day 3. We got the end of Trooper Guarino and his testimony on defense. We had the William Foley from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. He talked about the tracking people going in and out of the country and using the passports and the airline information, the APIS, the traveler's data. We had Patrick Regron, I think. He was the canine handler with the dog named Einstein. That was really cool. Didn't find anything. We had Tom Menning, who was the JetBlue corporate security manager, gave us the JetBlue documents. He was the record keeper for that. We had Greg Lawrence from Cohasset Police Department, who took the missing person report from Brian Walshe. That was a short witness, not a lot there. Seth Fox from Lyft. He's the compliance specialist, subpoena some compliance specialists that let us know what records they had regarding Anna Walshe and her Lyft usage around that time period. Also had the same thing, Alyssa Wimmer from Uber Technologies, records keeper there. Witness number 9 was Michael Kenyon, police officer from Swampscott Police Department, who collected the dumpsters secured the dumpsters of trash and then led the convoy to the warehouse where the trash was then dumped out. And at that point, he's like, okay, I'm out. You guys do your thing. This is a smelly job. I will do something else. But he secured the garbage, and that's where we ended up with all this evidence eventually. So we had that. That was Michael Kenyon. Then following him, witness number 10, Sergeant Amy Waterman. She searched the D.C. house and told us it was all neat and clean. There was food in the fridge. There was some clothes there. But there was no evidence that Anna was not found at that site. Then witness number 11, Peter Capizoi. He owns the auto import store. That's his job, but that's not why he's there. He also owned the house that the Walshes were renting, which is weird because the Walshes had rental properties, but they were renting from someone else. Their idea was they were going to live there temporarily and then move to D.C., in theory. So they rented there. They had like a 6-month lease and then extended for another 6 months. We found out that Brian's mom was paying that $5,000 a month lease payment as well. We found a little bit about repairs, leaky faucets and cabinet doors and things like that as well as the AC going out one day. Okay. Also, after Peter, we had witness number 12, Mark Selvagi. Man, these names are a tough one. Mark was the life insurance salesperson. He sold the life insurance. For some reason, he reminds me of, who was it, Ned on Groundhog Day? That's who I thought as soon as I saw him. I'm not sure why, but that was like the connection. He's a salesman. He sells life insurance, and he sold policies to the Walshes, and we got a lot of questions about life insurance, how it works, how you qualify, what testing is involved before you can get life insurance, and it includes like medical histories and an interview where you have to tell them about your high-risk activities, whether it be skydiving or bungee jumping, bingo, or smoking. And all that, and how that goes into getting a policy and moving forward. A lot of questions for him. That was a long one there. And then last but not least, we had Davis Gold, who was the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab employee who investigated the Volvo and the trash, and we got the evidence. the evidence from the garbage that has been collected. So bingo is high risk. Of course. You know what it does to your heart when you're like, you just need one more letter? Yeah. So a lot has come in. We knew it was going to be a busy day today. We had 2 witnesses the first 2 days and 11 witnesses today. So it's been a lot there. We're going to wrap it up today. I'm going to get prepared for tonight, and I think I have to call the city. They want me to do another gig here. The evening of the 8th, which I think is Monday. Is that right? I think it's Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember, whatever the math is. I like how RA didn't do a corn summary yesterday. Nope, we didn't. We skipped that part, as they should have as well, because I don't think it was relevant. Anyway, so a gig coming up for the city at a new location. We'll see if that works. That's going to be fun. So tonight, join me with Courtroom Confidential with Josh at 8 p.m. Central. Excuse me, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific. Just be there the whole time and just wait for it to happen. And then tomorrow, join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for the podcast. So back-to-back nightly shows to watch for your viewing pleasure. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for the amazing gifters who gifted memberships today. That was absolutely wonderful to see those come in. Thanks for those who support the channel through super chats, through your membership, just through being here. It's absolutely wonderful. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tonight on Courtroom Confidential channel, not on this channel, on Courtroom Confidential. If you need the link, we'll put it in chat here. If I can ask my mods to do that really quickly. Make sure you ring the bell, get notified when we go live, and you won't miss a moment of it. Josh is fantastic. His crew is amazing, and it'll be great conversation as we sum up what happened today in the Brian Walsh trial. You guys, thank you very much. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Be safe. Stay safe. We'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.